Hey guys, this is Cypher Life. This is first time doing a Digimon video. I have been playing this game for quite a bit now, probably since last September. Switched over from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've been really enjoying this game. So follow, like, and subscribe if you want to see more. I do have plenty of decks with this right now. I probably have like over 20. So I'll be doing a lot more deck profiles, but this is one I've actually got first place at the TCG Con in Indy. Um, it was, I believe, the beginning of April last week from recording. Let's see. It was like April 1st, April 2nd. Yeah, April 2nd. It was a case tournament, and I got first place. I walked away with 5 boxes. My friends entered, and they also got a few boxes themselves. So, uh, yeah, this is my deck profile. If you have any comments or anything, leave them down in the comments for suggestions. Right now, this is the deck that I have been really enjoying. Um, feel super I feel like this is the current version I would stick with until BT12 when we get the X antibody. And I do want to thank there was one person at the event right before the tournament started. She decided to um, bless my deck, and that was it was a really funny moment. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? She blessed it, and afterwards, I won. And I was just like, wow. So let's get on with this deck profile already. I'm sure that's what most of you guys are here for. First place deck profile for Ulforce. First off, we'll start off with the beautiful Wanyamon 4 eggs. Um, Honestly, the best egg for this deck. So, yeah, there's really no. You could use Baby Demon, but or the Demi Vmon to give 1,000 DP, but there's a lot. This deck is, for like I said, what I like for the moment. So let's just go on with it. I have 4 Vmon BT11, pretty standard, best Vmon ever. Next, we do have 4 of the EX1 Vmon. Now, this is a great Vmon. I can eventually see it going down if we get another Vmon, or maybe mixing up ratios, but honestly, at 4 right now, just you need that memory gain. And I am sticking with the structure deck Vmon. I really enjoy getting the amount of draws you can get from this, and then the warp effect almost never comes up. I think it's come up maybe once or twice to like try to attempt to bounce, as long as they have something that's 1,000 DP, which there's a lot of things that have 1,000 DP right now. But if something happened to survive, they swung into a tamer or something, you know, that was their cost for that was their mistake, really. And then finally, we have the one Gabumon. Honestly, it's come up maybe 2 or 3 times. I think this ratio is what I liked the best. Um, you could switch out these 4 for anything else if you want to, but the draw power you get from that's like the difference is memory gain, draw power, search power. Kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh terms, you get 3 upstarts in a POV duality basically. So um, I feel like this one's just a little weaker just because it could put your arenas at the bottom of the deck, which is why I don't want to play more than 1. You could play 2, probably see a little bit more often. I want to see it as a bad idea, it's 2-2. But this is what I like. Next, we'll get onto the level 4s. I play 4 Vidramon. Very standard. Best level 4 in the deck. because not only do you get a draw if it's out if you play a tamer, or you get a memory for playing a tamer and its inherits. Now, this is just like BT11 Vmon. It's just the best Digimon. You always want to get this one to your hand first. They need another one of these because the rest of the level 4s are kind of lackluster compared to this. Next, we do have the 2 promo Digimon Zeros. In the tournament, I actually did play the structure deck Digimon, only because I didn't have these yet. I was playing it because it was a 4 cost instead of a 6 cost. I think it came up in one game where I bricked and I just needed something out. But this inheritable is just way better. I don't think I actually ever used the other one's inheritable, only for the 4 cost instead of the 6 cost. Other than that, I think this one's okay. I think it's come up maybe twice since I have actually added it to the deck. I've been playtesting a lot, so this one I think it's better than the structure deck one, but I think you could honestly go between either. It really just depends if you want the inherit or you want the cheaper cost, in case you have to hard play it. And then finally, for the last bit of level 4s, we have 3 Leomon. It'll make sense with the Jerry lineup, but I think 3 is fine, especially since we don't see much more Black or Greymon anymore. We still need a blocker for the deck, in case you can't can't unsuspend your Ulforce in some kind of way, or it doesn't have blocker evade. You still have another blocker to let you live another turn. And I do play only the one Kumamon. Kumamon, the deck searches so much, especially with the Vmon. You draw so many cards that I almost always have a Kumamon in my hand when I push for game. There's never a need for second. I could see maybe in BT12 maybe playing 2, that the new hybrid, but honestly I just feel like the one of this hybrid is good enough. And that is it for the level 4s. Next I have the best level 5 from BT11 as well, Arrow Digimon. This one taps to search for tamers, literally the best effect for the deck, because you need this. You always need the level 5 suspended. Yeah, I mean it's the best one, especially if you have to go against Black or Greymon. This is the best one to go into because you can just suspend it, get the effect, then go into Ulforce to bounce. Whereas the rest you have to swing, which is the hardest part. Next, I do only play 2 of the Arrow Digimon that gives security +1. Only problem I find is usually it's hard to get 8 cards in hand early game when security +1 actually means something with this deck. So I play only 2 just for the fact that, again, this deck searches so much, and I'd rather honestly get this one early game, because if I'm playing into arena with my first Ulforce, the second turn it might get blown up, or if it stays, I don't know if I have another arena to go into. So the inherit on this one to play the on play to give it blocker evade for the next turn, it's just way better. So 4 of this one, only 2 of this one, and I do play one more, and it's the Arrow Digimon Zero. This one was the jamming one that gave the inherit for jamming, but I was finding myself kind of, especially in the tournament, I think I almost decked out twice, and I was going against a Black War Greymon player, and this won me the game right here. I didn't have the other Arrow Digimon yet. Like I said, I was playing the structure deck one, and this one, he had Hades forced me at the very beginning of the game after I went into my first Ulforce, which deleted 2 of my arenas. I then got down to my last 4 cards, and ended up going into this Arrow Digimon, and literally putting the bottom 3 to the bottom of my deck saved me by putting my arenas at the bottom of the deck, let me swing for game. because then I was also able to put my Kumamon back underneath. I was playing two. I would no, I was playing one at the tournament. I had just swapped it to one. Um, I had put my Kumamon. I think it got deleted or something on a swing or something. I don't know. Um, oh no, I used it for Evo. But basically, this put my Kumamon back, and I was able to get my arenas and Kumamon and swing for game. So I was very happy that I put this in. And that is it for my level 5 lineup. I hope that makes sense to you guys for the security. It's like you don't really need it. The security +1, like early game, as long as you have those 8 cards. But you don't see it too often like that. Next, 4 of the level 6 Ulforce Featuremon. This is the best card in the deck. Obviously, it's your level 6, your boss monster. The ability to bounce is broken. I do wish that it wasn't just your turn, but all turns when when you play the Blue Tamer unsuspend, because hitting that security is so rewarding. If you play Jerry from security and you have a Leomon in hand, or you have Rena on field, just hitting anything, or the Rena suspend when this suspends because of fade or block, would allow you to play another tamer. It would allow you to bring it back out. I understand that would be completely broken and nuts, and this deck would probably be tier 1, but it's probably one of the best blue decks in my opinion right now. Um, I just wish that wasn't all turns and not a your turn. That's really my only gripe with the card. Oh, and it's a mandatory effect, so if you don't have the level, so say you only have 2 tamers, you're trying to bounce level 6, you're only able to bounce level 5. Unfortunately, you cannot bounce that level 6, and you can't unsuspend again when you have the next tamer on that same turn, because you already activated that effect. I wish you could, but oh man, there's 2 gripes about the card. I don't know. This is probably my favorite deck I've built, and it's the farthest in tournament I've gotten with it. I do play the one Era of Digimon Zero. I was playing BT2 for quite a while, and it just was always stuck in my hand. This gets stuck in my hand too, because you always want to go into this one. But if you don't have this one, or you don't have ability to go into this one, just this in one arena and a ton of trash, swing for game is broken. You just have to be able to have the right board for it, really, and the right circumstances with the trash. So that is it for my level 6s. I do not play any 7s. I know a lot of people are playing the Omnimon. What is it called? The level 7 that bounces and then deletes itself on the next turn. I don't think it's really necessary for the deck. I think Ulforce is just strong enough by itself that you really don't need it, especially with Black War Greymon kind of out of the picture now. I mean, it's still there. It's just a lot less needed now. Next, we do play the 4 Rena. I was very lucky to be able to pull one at pre-release. My friend was able to pull the alt art during his pre-release, and I was able to trade for it. And then I was able to have a few friends pull together the resources and find someone who had another arena after I bid for another one. So I was able to get all 4 pretty early on. Probably within the first 2 weeks of the deck of BT11, I was able to get all 4. My community is honestly very awesome. We all are able to help each other out building decks. So I'm very fortunate with that. I do play 4 of Tai Kamiya. Now, I was playing 2 for quite a while, and I was playing 2 of the BT2 Rena. but I kind of want to say the same example. This is the upstart draw. You can draw every turn, or you can tap to give 1,000, which is great against some of the higher DP decks. I do play the one BT2 arena still. I feel like just one is necessary for the V search, because sometimes you're really looking for a specific level, like 4 or 5. So um, getting this off really helps. And if you've already used the block and evade effect from the other arena, you can also always just play this on play effect with your level 5 inherit. So I think this is probably the correct ratio now, to be perfectly honest. I don't think any more BT2 arenas are necessary. I do play 2 more Jerry, just 2 Jerry, 3 Leomon. I think any more Jerry you'll just brick with it, especially since it's a 4 cost. And then we have 2 of the Davis. Do not play more than 2. I'm very much considering only switching to another blue tamer, just because the search is okay, to be honest with you. But the deck draws so much, it kind of really doesn't need it. The memory gain is the essential part of this card. So I'm very much considering switching this to another blue tamer with as a memory setter, because I think almost every time I actually hard play this, I bottom deck 1 to 2 arenas. So it's probably like my most frustrated card in the deck. I don't want to drag this video on too much longer, but I really trying to get my point across with some of these cards here, some of my choices. I am playing 1 Sora and Joe. You really need memory to really pop off in this deck, especially if you want to swing for game. Getting 5 memory in a turn lets you probably win. If your opponent tries to give you a little bit too much, you can just make a second stack, pop off, swing for game. It's one of those decks that can really just blow up out of nowhere. And if your opponent ever puts a level 3 out, just a search, or a floodgate, this is very helpful just for that extra gain. And then of course you have the Matt and Sora. It's the same thing. You get memory for how many cards you have in your hand. There's a lot of decks right now, I think, before the ban list, a lot were getting 8 hands. Now I feel like a lot of people are kind of playing around 8 in the hand. But after they pop off, they usually do have 8 in hand, and I usually do have 8 in hand mid game. So this usually helps me get at least 1, if not 2 memory, which, like I said, is essential. And then you can always get rid of their floodgates at the beginning of the turn. So very broken cards. I love playing so many tamers. It's one of my weird things I really love about Digimon, is the amount of tamers that you can kind of play and do stuff with. Finally, I have the 1 Ice Wall, and that is it for the deck. Ice Wall always comes in clutch. Leomon being an Ice Wall basically is awesome. I love this deck so much. I've playtested probably the most with this deck out of any other deck, and I'd say this is probably one of my favorites. So thank you for watching, guys. I know this was a longer video than probably what most of my upcoming ones will be. I just really wanted to come across basically the reasons for my choices, because I know some of them are a little bit different than what most people are in actually doing in big tournaments and stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to see any more content from me, let me know. Thanks for watching.